Okay. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com. And ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. Well, never a good thing when you wake up to the police blotter, especially involving one of your best players. Chris Olave was arrested on Monday night in Kenner on suspicion of reckless operation of a motor vehicle. Olave was driving 70 in a 30. Chris Olave was driving 70 in a 30. He was arrested and booked, and then was set to be released, according to the report this is from Cat Terrell's, according to police, was set to be released once paperwork was processed. So the Saints had the weekend off. They played Thursday, had the weekend off, so they didn't practice Monday. Had player meetings, and players went to the facility Monday afternoon. So a couple things, first and foremost. The timing of this is obvious. Not that there's ever a good time to be a knucklehead, but the timing of this is really bad considering everything going on in the organization right now. You're losing, and Olave was the guy who didn't run his route. That caused Derek Carr to yell at him, and then Michael Thomas went on Twitter and basically co-signed Nick Underhill's tweet that Olave was never even supposed to be, he wasn't even in that route progression. I mean, Olave wasn't part of the progression. So, the ball was never going. Anyway, but the point is, if you heard AFR on Monday, I kind of highlighted that whole situation where where Carr throws the ball, Olave quit on the route. Route was never supposed to go to Olave. Nick Underhill points that out on Twitter. Michael Thomas then goes on Twitter and co-signs, essentially saying Derek Carr screwed up. And the point I made and have been making is, well, that's because none of the players respect their coach, and there's no fear of consequence. It's the substitute teacher mentality. You're willing to act out because it's the substitute teacher. Nobody fears or respects the substitute. So that's what you have. That's what you have right now with Dennis Allen. That was the point I made yesterday. And then you see something like this. Again, people speed. I speed every day. I don't go 70 and a 30. And quite honestly, I was thinking yesterday, because as the week goes along, I always think of kick rocks for that Friday with Terrio. And every day when I bring Drew to school, we're on Goodwood Boulevard, and it's a school zone, and it's 20. And every day I see people going 50 down Goodwood Boulevard through a school zone. And I want to run them off the road. I want to go smash their car, rip them out of their car, and shove their face in the dirt. That's what I want to do. My child goes to school here. There are kids crossing the street, and you're going 50 through a school zone, you moron. Anyway, so I look at, Olave going 70 and a 30 is just absurd. But the timing of it is even worse. Now, Olave during his time in New Orleans hasn't had run-ins like this. At no point has he been a bad citizen or anything. This is a dumb thing to do. I don't know why he did it, but the timing of it just magnifies why it's a problem. It's kind of like with Georgia football, with all the speeding arrests that they've had. And of course, the tragedy last January after their championship celebration. Kirby Smart commented on it to say every time that there's people that speed and get speeding tickets all the time, but because there's such a microscope on this program, every time it happens here, it's going to be a big news story, which is true. It's the same thing with Olave right now. Not that there's ever a good time to be a knucklehead and do something stupid, but this is a terrible time to be a knucklehead and do something stupid when there's so much negativity surrounding the organization. Now you pile this on top of it with one of your best players. So, specifically with Olave, as far as potential penalty, there could be a fine. Worst case scenario is jail time. You doubt very seriously it gets to that. If there were multiple offenses, Olave did not resist. The Kenner police issued a statement. New Orleans Saints player Chris Olave was arrested tonight for reckless operation, city ordinance, driving 70 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone. So actually that needs to be corrected on the ESPN story. The incident occurred in the 1700 block of Joe Yanni Boulevard. Anyway. Blah. More negativity around the organization. And you think about it, Marcus May was suspended after his arrest. Kamara, Lattimore, was running through the list of guys that in the last year and a half have been arrested for whatever variety of reasons. Anyway. Barry Jocelyn, good morning. Shane Bigfella, good morning. Jason H., 70 and a 30 in a neighborhood. Guess he thought he was on airline. Brian Penn, good morning. From Malvern, Arkansas. Forgot to say my birthday was last Friday. Okay, Brian, happy birthday, belated. Larry Garner, what's up? Matt Plavidal, good morning. B-Rock, what's up? Matt B. Trivia Carter, Ransom Antoine, good morning. A DA press conference that has the same eerie feeling from last year when they needed to make a change at quarterback. Your thoughts? I can't say that I remember specifically a press conference a year ago and something that DA said. I know initially it was they would get James back, and then the question was kind of, as it persisted, they kept starting Dalton. The thing I remember about what Allen said a year ago was that Jameis was available, because the speculation was that he wasn't starting because he was still injured, but Allen kind of cleared that up. Brad David, good morning. Can you explain why radio stations use FM radio now? I never understood the difference between AM and FM. Different convo for a different day, Brad. Catch me when I got more time and I can explain it. But essentially, it's kind of how the signal is transmitted. An FM signal transmits from the top of a tower and sprays. An AM signal is ground-based. Damon Hinderberger, good morning, Matt. I watched the quarterback school last night. Yeah, JT O'Sullivan. If you haven't seen it yet, the JT O'Sullivan video, it's 43 minutes analyzing Derek Carr's performance on Thursday Night Football, and it was not good. Dylan DeVille, honestly, even if Olave did run that route, Carr threw the ball 3 yards out of bounds. Right, Dylan. And I'm not saying he would have caught it, and part of the reason I would assume Carr was upset is that he had to throw it away because Olave gave up on the route. I don't care. I don't care. That play isn't why they lost the game. I don't care. The bigger problem is the circumstance that surrounds it. Carr threw a ball to a receiver that wasn't the progression. Olave gave up on the route. Michael Thomas goes on Twitter to essentially point out Carr's shortcoming. Carr's yelling at Olave on the field. That I don't care about if the ball was catchable. What I care is about all the ancillary. That was one play. all the ancillary stuff surrounding that play and everything therein, on the field, on Twitter, everything, decision-making, reactions, all of it, all of those are symptoms of bad culture. Quarterback threw to the wrong receiver. Receiver gave up on the route. Quarterback yells at receiver. Receiver not involved in the play goes to Twitter to bash quarterback. Like, all of that is symptomatic of bad culture. I don't care where the ball went. That was 3 yards out of bounds. That's not the point. Brad, do you still talk to your teacher, your classmate who disrespected the substitute teacher? No, man. Haven't seen him in a long time. Ray Langwell, Weston Weaver, David Bass, Leon Williams. DA is the parent whose kid hits the parents, and the parents yell, "Stop, Johnny. Not tan his hide. Gotta go, dude." Antron Hemingway, Phil Schmidt. Barry Jocelyn. So that's about Olave. Any updates on 5-star Denver Harris? With a laughing face emoji. No. Sergeant King, what's going on? MCH2, not a big deal. It could be way worse. You're missing the point. Yes. It's the thing that I talked about from the beginning. Yes. Of course. Like, there are far more egregious offenses. No doubt. The problem is the timing to do something stupid when there's so much negativity surrounding the organization, surrounding this football team, specifically surrounding Olave after the incident with Carr, and then to go do something stupid. That's the bigger thing here. You're missing the point. Yes, in a vacuum, human being is driving at an extreme rate of speed relative to your 40 miles an hour over the speed limit. You know, if it's 35 and you're going 70, yes, egregious, bad. Are there far worse crimes in the world? Absolutely. But we're not in a vacuum. Kelly Gross, Bart St. Germain, Charlie Cavell, Jason Duplantis, what's going on? At his age, I was riding wheelies, terrorizing old grandmas. He will learn a life lesson and move on. The problem is, Jason, at his age, you weren't an NFL football player making millions of dollars on a team with just oozing negativity and bad press right now. That's my point. Nobody cares if Jason Duplantis is going 70 and a 30. Nobody cares. Like, no disrespect, man. You're not Chris Olave. I'm not. Nobody cares. They care when it's him. Jamie Leday, Ron Ritchie, good morning. Thoughts on LSU defensive line versus Alabama offensive line? Alabama O-line was supposed to be one of the great strengths of their team, and they have not played well this year. Similar to LSU defensive line, which is supposed to be one of the great strengths of this team that has not played well this year. So we'll see who plays better a week from Saturday. Lowell Cormier, Bubba Smith. Michael Cook, Bobby Muse, Slee Sue, greetings from Indiana. Okay. Alton Trahan, good morning. Brian Wynn, what's going on? Greg Carter, morning, Matt. Jaden Daniels or Michael Penix to the Saints. Greg, it depends on where they're picking, man. Again, it's not as cut and dried as just saying, hey, pick whichever one you want. You're not going to a buffet line where you can just pick what you want. Like, who's on the board at the time the Saints pick? Who do they prefer? Don't know. Shane Bigfell, I'm nervous about the Alabama game, yet I think we can win. Go Tigers. Yeah, that's about right. LSU's offense will be by far the best offense the Alabama defense will have faced all year. And it'll be a huge test for the Alabama defense. Similarly, it's on the road in Tuscaloosa. And while all of us are hoping that the LSU defense is improving, there is an element of that feels like it could be fool's gold because it was against a really bad Auburn offense and a really bad Army offense. So we'll find out. That's why, as they say, that's why they play the game. Please take a quick second, smash that like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook. Please like the page, share the post. Leon Williams, Olave's 22, 23-year-old male, which is prime age for dumb dare to relax. He'll be fine. Bigger issue is he's not on the same page with his quarterback. I'll repeat myself again. And maybe you posted that, Leon, before I made the comment. Yes, in a vacuum, speeding, not a giant deal. I speed every day. We all speed every day. Posted speed limit on the interstate 60. I've probably gone 90 in 60 mile an hour zones before. Yes, not an egregious act. But I'm not Chris Olave. You're not Chris Olave. And certainly not at this time in the organization when the last thing in the world that you needed to see was one of your best players getting arrested. That's the point. Shelby, it's obviously the Saints. It's obvious the Saints are the same without Sean. The narrative around Sean right now is he's nothing without a Hall of Fame quarterback. That is the sign of quarterback being the most important position in sports. Well, Shelby, I will say this. I think Russell Wilson's a Hall of Fame quarterback. I just think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback that's at the end of his career, who's not playing anywhere near a Hall of Fame level. I'll be curious to see what the second half of the season looks like for Denver. They keep improving. Irfan Sayad, Gamorgan. Taylor Hudson, good morning. Whatever happened to Armani Goodwin, Trey Bradford, didn't see them against Army yet, neither played. Clarence Williams, good morning, Matt. Do you think Dennis Allen has lost the team? Also, how much do you think the kicking game, including the punter, is affecting the offense? Has Dennis Allen lost the team? I don't think they respect him. So if that means he lost the team, okay. Maybe that's just a semantics argument or conversation. How much is the kicking game affecting the offense? I mean, Groupie's fighting it right now, obviously. And, if he makes a kick against Green Bay, you have a lead, and then Green Bay's got to go drive the length of the field to win that game. Obviously, if he made his kick against Jacksonville, then you're in a position at the end of that game to kick a field goal to win it. So, yeah, to that extent, of course, it matters. But one of the conversations we always have is that winning masks deficiencies. Sometimes when you win a game, you sweep aside the negative and highlight the positive. Look at LSU against Arkansas. You won that game. So it's, look at the resilience, the rally, they came back, look how good the offense is. Never mind the fact that your defense is atrocious, and a week later you saw it against Ole Miss when you gave up 55 points at 700 yards. Soulfinger12, morning Matt from San Diego. Dennis Allen is softer than baby poop. Get him out. The culture has died on his watch. Taysom was wide open. He was, and he should have thrown the ball. Again, not the point. Listen, you don't have to convince me Derek Carr's bad. I'm the one guy who, when they signed Derek Carr, shouted from the mountaintops that I hated signing Derek Carr. So this ain't no revisionist history with me. This isn't no hindsight, okay? I'm the one guy who got crapped on by Saints fans for months because when they signed Derek Carr, I told you were signing Andy Dalton 2.0. Dude was in the organization for 9 years. That made him their franchise. At his best, he was never a top 10 quarterback. Stat compiler, never won at the greatest level. At his best. And the team that knew him best said, we've done everything we can do with you. Bye-bye. Those are the comments I made when they signed him. So you don't need to sit here and try to tell me that Derek Carr is not a good player and they wasted $150 million. Because that was all those are my commentary. That was my commentary when they signed him. I was the one sitting here saying, draft your future, trade whatever tradable assets you have, and play for the future. Instead, they reworked more awful contracts and overpaid a bad quarterback, and now they're stuck. So you don't need to sit here and tell me, well, Taysom was wide open. Okay, Taysom was wide open. He missed an easy throw to Olave on the left side early in that game as well. I mean, go look at the J.T. O'Sullivan film. I mean, he missed Rashid Shaheed in the goal-to-go situation. damn near got Foster Moore killed at the goal line. Like, you ain't got to tell me he's a bad quarterback. I've been saying he's a bad quarterback. That has nothing to do with the conversation we're having today. All right. Jim Arsenault, Jacob Willis, Jordan Grace, what up? All right, it's 8 o'clock. I got to go. Sorry it was a shorter show today, y'all, but got a little bit of a later start, and I got to go get Drew up and get him out of school. So y'all have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. Much love to everybody. Please smash the like button on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, Facebook. Please like the Matt Scone page, share the post. LSU Daily is already live, so if you're looking for a podcast, check out LSU Daily on your favorite podcast app. Just search LSU Daily. Please subscribe. And AFR3. Okay, y'all. We'll see you. Have an awesome day. Peace.